It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country, where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to inspire. Our mission is really to empower you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Noreen Henry, who's here to talk about victorious living. Stuck is not your story. What's going on, Noreen? How are you?
Hi, I am doing well. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you today.
Well, it certainly is an honor on my side. I'm excited to have you here. And before we kick off, because folks are reading your bio, they can look below and see how famous you are and how many bestsellers you have and all the wonderful things you're doing in the world. But we all got one question on our mind. Like, victorious living? Like, what does that mean? What does it look like? Heck, what is it these days? I mean, I hate to start off that way, but we're all curious. So please talk to us.
Okay, what is victorious living? Well, bottom line is that victorious living is going through your circumstances, staying in joy, peace, and happiness as you go through them, as you work to overcome them, because there's always something in life. Everybody goes through something in life, but if we gain victorious living, it's gaining the tools to help you to get through them while still staying in joy, peace, and happiness. Because you have to, if we don't do anything to overcome, that's when we stay stuck.
And I know that's the subtitle, which is Stuck is Not Your Story. But let me ask the question, why are folks today, with all the coaches running around, all the motivational talks, a lot of things on Instagram Reels, everybody's happy. Why are people still stuck? Why do they struggle? What's the problem that exists in the world today that you're out here to solve?
It could be stuck in going through the circumstances, going around the same mountain, experiencing the same thing year in, year out. And I have a bunch of things that I was stuck in going through those before gaining the right knowledge, because that's what it is. You have to gain the right knowledge in order to live victoriously, because there's a lot of knowledge out there, but not all of it is right.
Well, you can't leave us hanging. I mean, folks now want to know your backstory. They want to know, who are you? Why do you exist? What are some things you was going round and round and round the story? So let me get out the way, turn it over to you, and tell the folks, who is Noreen Henry? What's a little bit of the backstory where she was stuck that's led her to doing what she's doing today, which is believing that you can live a victorious life?
Definitely.
Talk to us.
Definitely can. So all right, let me start. I was born in London, England. That's where I was born and raised until I came to the States at the tender age of 17. Yes, only 17. And I've been here for quite a few years. So with that, I was, one of the things was I grew up thinking I was ugly, and it was because of words that were said to me at my birth. And so those words helped to shape my life. So there was a point where I ended up in a relationship where it continued to enforce the words that were said to me. So growing up as a teen, I thought I was ugly. I thought no guy would like me. And in the relationship I was in, it continued to enforce that. So it wasn't until actually I was out of that relationship and started to learn the tools to strategize to live victoriously. And after a while, I was led to create victorious living culture to help people to know we don't have to stay stuck, because in that relationship, I was stuck. I was stuck year in, year out, going through the same things, expecting it to change without doing anything different. So that's one of the things that I was stuck in.
What would you say to the person, and I don't want to start off the show and get it down this track, but to the woman or the male that's out there right now, and they're like, I'm in a situation, the relationship is not right. I'm here. I've been hanging in there. It's just not a good place for me to be in. And I'm curious, Noreen, I'm tuning into you and I'm listening. and what's the first thing I should do, and what's the second thing I should do, and what's the third thing, and if you know someone out there that's in a situation, make sure you pay this episode forward, or share this with someone, because these words from Noreen, who says she's been there and done that, could set someone free and allow them to live a victorious life. So go ahead and talk to the person now that's in that relationship and it's a bad cycle. They know they need to get out, but for whatever reason, they're still there.
The first thing is being aware. That's the number one. You have to be aware, because if we're not aware, we can't do anything different. And so that's one of the things why I remained stuck for so long. It was actually when I came out of the relationship, realizing how stuck I was. And even many more years later, continuing to gain the right knowledge, realizing to this day, even still realizing, wow, I was really stuck. And I was really expecting things to change for the better and not do anything different, not learn anything different. So the first thing is to actually be aware. So what you will have to do is take a step back in your life and analyze it. You have to analyze what's going on in your life to realize, no, yeah, this is a stuck situation. So I have to do something about it.
Are there affirmations that you use as well? I mean, we're going to get into your book and get into all the wonderful things you're doing, but I don't leave the audience hanging. I mean, they might be like, well, what are some affirmations she talked about that there was, Shay, something that was said to her and those words cut her and hurt her for a very, very long time. So what's one, two, or three of her affirmations that maybe as you listen to Noreen, you can grasp onto these as well that would help you?
The biggest one that I can say that I started with was, I'm more than enough, because I was downtrodden. I was beaten down for so many years that even though I'm a strong person, I was still dealing with low self-esteem, with not valuing myself. And it's because of the things that was said to me. I was looked down upon. I was looked down. Even down to my smile was criticized. So the first affirmation that I remember using was, I am more than enough. And I still say that today. I am more than enough. I am beautiful. I am great. I am happy. I am full of joy. My vibration is so high. I'm a great person.
Yes, you are. And I'm curious, when you talk about victorious living, how does forgiveness play a role in the walk towards being victorious?
Yeah, that's a big one, because in the second book I wrote, I have a chapter on forgiveness. So I can say, when before forgiving, if I saw somebody that, if the people that were mean to me over the years, if I heard their name, it would cringe. I would cringe hearing their name. But when I knew that I fully forgave them, was when I could hear their name and it does not do anything to me anymore. So forgiveness is so important in our life journey, because people do things because of lack of knowledge. And the word says it, we perish for lack of knowledge. So people don't realize what they're doing to you, and then actually doing to themselves, because of the reaping and sowing policy, sowing and reaping policy principle, rather.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So we're forgiven for ourselves. We're really forgiven for ourselves, and it makes a difference. I can attest to that. It makes a difference. You don't get angry no more. Like when you hear their name, you don't cringe. Like, no, it's important to walk in forgiveness, because people really don't know what they're doing to you. They actually think that they're fine. They think what they're doing is fine. Some of them, not all of them, because some people do intentionally hurt people, but there's other people that they just think that they're fine, and it's really because we operate from the knowledge that we have. So if we never gain any knowledge, there's never going to be any change.
Wow. I love that. I love how you said that about that not being any change. Take a moment if you can. Victorious living. And someone's sitting there saying, okay, I'm with it, Shay. I'm going to forgive. we talk to the person out there, but there's someone else is saying, I'm doing really well. Life is good. Like, I'm blessed. I have a good home. I'm able to go to work. I'm able to pay my bills. I'm able to take vacations. And what is the next level for victorious living? What does that look like as you're talking to folks and speaking all over the world? What do you share to the person that feels like things are well, but they know they have the potential inside of them to perform at a much higher level than they're
Yeah,
performing at right now?
that sounds like mediocrity, right? And so again, it goes right back to analyzing your life, because with because I know people that are, they think that they're fine, right? They working, they got great husband, great family, but because of me learning about the victorious living over the years, I can see, right? I can see that no, they're not fully living to their potential. So it goes first again, the awareness, and then analyzing your life, and then taking steps to make the changes. Otherwise, it's going to stay in mediocrity. And what is it really? That's another stuck cycle.
I love it. What has been your greatest joy in writing the books that's helped so many people over the world?
Just the help that they get from it, the comments that I get back saying how much my books help them. Like, one of my books is Victorious Living Guide to a Happier Life. One of the comments that I got about it is that a person leaves it in their bathroom, so they read it every day. So it's to know that people are getting helped, and it's fulfilling to me that they're getting the knowledge, they're gaining the knowledge to help live a better life, the life that we're called to live, living their best lives now. So it's a joy. It's such a joy and a fulfillment when people read my books.
Yeah. What is one of the principles that guide you to stay so positive every day, to stay so focused?
I would have to say it's my Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
Number one, number one is my Heavenly Father, and and really, number one is that's what we need.
Yeah, I like that. And there's nothing above that, but I'm curious, what's number two?
What's number two? What keeps me going? Just
Yes.
just the knowledge, like gaining the knowledge. Because years ago, many years ago, I considered myself a positive person, but because of all the knowledge that I've gained over the years, I'm like, I wasn't positive back then at all. So it's really, really gaining, just continuing to gain knowledge. I'm an avid reader. I'm always taking courses because I like to improve myself every year. And I just want to be a better person for what I'm coming and giving to the world. So
I know before you came on here, you were gonna we were talking about a book, or you were gonna get the book, and I think it's Legacy Journey. Is that it? Is that the one you pulled out? Which one did you pull out? Your thing.
the quickest one I pulled out was the Stuck is Not Your Story. This is
Stuck is
Stuck is
not
Not
your story.
Your Story, Change is Possible. And this is it's actually a series. This is a collaboration project with about 12 other women sharing their stories of overcoming, their stories of victory. And this book is a number one bestseller. And it is, and the greatest thing, that's why these things, it makes me feel good to know how much people are being helped. People are using these books for book clubs. There's a doctor that is using this book for her clients. And so it's just the where this is going, it's just amazing to me. And it just makes me feel so good to know the impact that I'm being used by our Heavenly Father to make on this world.
I like it. I know it's one of the things we're talking about, victorious living, but I like the idea of journaling. I
Mhm.
write in the journal. It's an online journal, so I'm curious to you talk about one. Do you use a journal? Is it written or is it online? And second, just the power of journaling as we gravitate or we start transition a little bit to a legacy journal in a moment. But talk about the power of journaling and how that's helped you and impacted you and how you do it.
How it helps me, for me, most of the time I do it at night. Most of the time I do it at night. If I don't, then I'll do it in the morning. But it helps me. It helps me to stay present as well as and then when you're looking back over it and you see how far you've come, like, because we do end up, and I'll speak for myself, end up beating up myself because there's so much things that I need to do, and I should be doing more. But when you look back and read your journals, it's an encouragement to see, oh wow, I have I have come this far. So it's an encouragement as well for you, and it's not only an encouragement, it's a it's a relief. Like when I wrote my book, Food Addiction and Struggle Has Been Real. It took me 4 days to write that, and it was because I was getting set free. So journaling helps you to be set free as well. It's
Mm.
powerful. It's powerful, and there's so many other reasons too, because there's people that journal and then end up using that as their book, so it's already written.
That's a good
So
one.
there's
That's definitely a good way to start. One of my favorite questions to ask on the show, and I always tell people to lean in at this point. So if you're watching, you haven't connected with us on YouTube, please do that, or on podcast if that's where you want. Just type in at I am Che Brown, at I am Che Brown, and make sure you download the podcast or the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We're on YouTube, right? But lean in, because I like to ask guests almost every night, who's been a mentor? Who's inspired them? And the reason I asked you to lean in is that they're going to share one lesson from one of their mentors that you now can impart with and you can use for the rest of your life. And you may never meet their mentor. You may never, ever, but you can take their idea, their words of wisdom, and apply it in your life, and you can benefit for the rest of your life. So there's a lifetime value of you being here right now on this show, right in this moment, with the one and only Noreen Henry. So tell us, Noreen Henry, who's been a mentor to you along this journey of life? What's one of the lessons you've learned? And how can we, the audience, really benefit?
okay. I can say I've had many mentors because, like I said before, I'm an avid reader, and so is to actually choose one that impacted me the most. I can say um, I read a book many years ago called "How to Avoid Tragedy and Live a Better Life," and it was upon reading that book. It's by Charles Capps. It was reading that book that that's what started the transformation of my life, because that book teaches you, and I recommend it to everybody because we know about the word, because that's another thing I talk about too, how powerful our words are. Our words, they frame our world, so we need to be careful what we speak. We actually need to be careful what we think, because it impacts our lives, right? So that book, when I read that book, it gave such a simple explanation of our words that as I was reading it, words were coming to me that I would say many years ago. And then I'm like, no wonder things happened the way they did. It's because of the things that I was saying. So it's so important that we learn to use our thoughts and our words in the right way so that we have the life that we want. So it's a combination of things, right? Victoria's living is a combination of things, and our thoughts and words are so important. To me, they're extremely important. I have so many stories of things that have happened to people because of words that they said, because our words frame our world. And if we all have that knowledge, we will be making sure to speak right words all the time, so that we have so that our lives are the way we really want it. So because even if joking, you have to be careful what you say. I can give a quick story of
Please do. You can't leave us hanging. We want to
a,
know.
I'll give one quick story. Like many years ago, I used to, because I have three adult children now, but when they were little, I didn't want to work. I wanted to be home, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. But so I used to say to myself, I used to say, I want to be sick so that I could be home. And what happened was I got so sick that I had to have emergency surgery. So I was home all right. So, but that's not what I wanted though, right? I didn't want to have surgery. I didn't want to be sick. But I was just saying that. So with that happening, I knew not to say those words anymore. But it still wasn't a deep revelation yet, until I read that book. how to avoid tragedy and live a better life.
And now
So
you're on the path of helping other folks.
that's just one story.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. We want to know. We want to know. Please share.
Okay, let me. I'll tell you this one. There's a lady I used to work with that she passed away, and I was actually shocked why she passed away, and because I know that she's strong in faith. So then I know that I'm going to hear what she was saying, right? I know I'm going to hear what she was saying. And a little while after, I bumped into another coworker, and she said to me, "Oh, she used to always say the job is going to kill her." And it said to me, what came out of my mouth was, that's exactly what happened, because she's not expecting to be, she's not expecting to pass away. She's not expecting that the job is actually going to kill her, but that's really what happened. So we have to be extremely careful of what we think and what we speak out of our mouths. And that's one of the things that I'm passionate about.
I love the passion. I love the passion. I can hear where it is. Victorious living. Stuck is not your story. Not your story. We have a segment here, Noreen, called Today is My January 1st. Today is my January 1st. Now, for all the folks that are tuning in for the very first time, we're going to explain that in a minute. For all our regular folks, welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and say those words you wait to say. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you. And for all my new folks, you come on in. Welcome to the family. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra. It stands for a do-over. It stands for, a restart. It means no matter what's happened, the past, it no longer equals the future. And my question to Noreen Henry on the other side is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And what was one of your January the 1st moments?
Okay, I'm going to have to say one of my January 1st moments was slow down. Slow down, because I end up, we'll be doing too much at one time. And so to just focus on the one thing, slow down. Tomorrow's another day. I have to pace myself. So that's what my January 1st is. Slow down and stay on the path of being at pace.
I love it. I love it. Two-part question. First, go ahead and let the folks know, what type of clients are you working with today, if any? And number two, how can folks stay in this conversation with you over and beyond the time you and I have right now?
Sorry. Oh, the first question. Okay, it's women ages like 30 onwards, 30 to 60. Around that age group is the women that I tend to work with. Sometimes younger, sometimes older, but that's the average of who I work with. And so it's women that I work with mainly. Of course, men read my books, but yeah, women. And so I could be reached at, I believe that was the second question.
Yes. How can folks best stay in contact with you over and beyond today?
Okay, so my website is noreennhenry.com. Make sure there's an extra N in the middle. I'm on Facebook. Instagram is Victorious Living Culture. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube. So it's just, once you put Noreen N. Henry, you find me.
Well, let me say thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was fun being here. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you, the viewers. Without you, there is no show. One thing I like to share every single night, I never grow tired. Someone sent me a DM the other day and say, Shay, you ever get tired of saying the same thing at the end of every episode? No, because I want you to know that you're awesome. I want you to know that you're totally amazing. I really want you to know that you're incredible. You've got greatness inside you. And I want to remind you that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason, I believe with every fiber in my heart, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, in case you forgot, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life, it's short. You got to live in that moment. You got to make it count. God bless and we wish you success. Thanks a lot, Noreen. I'll see you around. Peace, everybody.